A new canvas, how small daily improvements transform your life. Imagine this. Every single day you wake up, life hands you a fresh, blank canvas, and in your hand is the brush. You're the artist. You choose the colors, you choose the strokes, you decide what picture today will paint. It's a powerful image, isn't it? Because the truth is, your life isn't being written by fate, luck, or some force outside your control. It's being shaped every single day by the choices you make, the habits you build, the mindset you choose, and the effort you're willing to put in. The real question is, what will you paint today? Every day presents an opportunity, a chance to sharpen your skills, grow your character, refine your thinking, and elevate your life to the next level. But none of that happens by accident. Improvement doesn't come knocking at your door. Growth doesn't chase you down. You have to make it happen. One of the greatest lessons I've learned is this. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Failure is nothing more than a few simple errors in judgment, repeated every day. It's not the big leaps. It's not the grand gestures. It's the small decisions, the quiet habits, the seemingly insignificant improvements that compound over time and transform your life. That's why I've boiled it down to 10 essential areas that, if you commit to improving just a little bit each day, will completely change the trajectory of your life. Let's dive in. 1. Attitude, the invisible force that shapes your life. Your attitude is more than just a mood or a fleeting emotion. It's the filter through which you experience the world. It shapes how you interpret events, how you react to setbacks, how you treat others, and ultimately how your life unfolds. In fact, if success had a foundation stone, it would be your attitude. Let's get one thing straight. Attitude is not something you're born with. It's not fixed. It's not determined by your past or your circumstances. It's something you choose, and that means it's something you can change. You might say, well, it's just how I feel. I can't help it. But you can. Feelings are real, yes, but they are also influenced by focus, by habit, by thought, and by intentionality. And attitude is not just how you feel, it's how you see. It's how you interpret what happens around you. It's the story you tell yourself about what things mean. Attitude is the gateway to opportunity. Imagine two people are faced with the same situation. They both lose a job unexpectedly. One immediately thinks, this is a disaster. I'll never recover. I'm not good enough. Everything always goes wrong for me. The other thinks, this is tough, but maybe it's a chance to find something better. Maybe this is the push I need to finally chase that dream I've been ignoring. Same circumstance, completely different experience. Why? Attitude. Your attitude either opens doors or closes them. It either invites growth or invites defeat. It either pulls people toward you or pushes them away. Think of someone you know who is constantly negative. No matter what good happens, they'll find a way to complain. The weather is too hot or too cold. The coffee is too strong or too weak. There's always something wrong. Now ask yourself, do people want to be around that person? Do opportunities seem to come their way? Do they seem fulfilled? Probably not. Now picture someone who radiates positivity, not the fake kind that denies reality, but the kind that meets reality with resilience and hope. They look for solutions. They focus on what can be done. They lift others up. And what happens? People want to work with them, support them, follow them, because that kind of attitude is magnetic. Attitude is a habit. The mistake many people make is thinking they need to feel good to have a good attitude. But it's actually the other way around. You choose the attitude first, and then the feelings follow. The key is this: attitude is not automatic. It's something you must train like a muscle. And just like muscles, your attitude grows stronger through repetition. You don't go from angry to peaceful overnight. You don't become grateful in a moment. You get there through small daily choices. Today, you pause before reacting in frustration and choose patience instead. Tomorrow, you take a moment to write down 3 things you're thankful for. The next day, you reframe a stressful situation by asking, what can I learn from this? And over time, these small acts compound. They shift your default state. They build a new baseline. Day by day, your emotional foundation strengthens, and it becomes easier and more natural to face the world with a positive, empowered attitude. Your attitude shapes your identity. The way you carry yourself each day begins to define who you are. If you approach life with a can-do spirit, a willingness to learn, and the belief that growth is always possible, you start to see yourself as someone capable, confident, and resilient. On the other hand, if you constantly see problems, if you believe the worst, if you assume things won't work out, you begin to identify as someone who's helpless or unlucky, even if that's not true. Your attitude becomes your identity, and your identity drives your behavior. That's why it's so important to protect and nurture your mindset. Here's a truth to remember. You teach people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. If you speak about your life with negativity, others will believe you. If you radiate self-belief and hope, others will be drawn to that energy and support you. Challenges are the testing ground of attitude. Anyone can have a good attitude when everything is going well, but real character is revealed when the going gets tough. When you face rejection, delays, mistakes, misunderstandings, these are not just obstacles, they're opportunities to grow your attitude. Every challenge is a chance to practice patience, perspective, and inner strength. Ask yourself in hard moments, what is this trying to teach me? How can I respond in a way I'll be proud of later? What story am I telling myself about this? And is it helping me or hurting me? These questions put you back in the driver's seat. They turn you from a passive victim into an active creator. How to strengthen your attitude every day. Here are some practical ways you can cultivate a better attitude, starting now. 1. Morning check-in. Begin each day by asking, what kind of attitude do I want to carry today? Choose it before the day chooses it for you. 2. Practice gratitude. Write down 3 things you're thankful for. Gratitude is the antidote to negativity. It shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's present. 3. Watch your language. Notice the words you use. Saying things like, I have to go to work can be reframed as, I get to go to work. That small shift creates big internal change. 4. Limit negativity. Be mindful of the media you consume and the people you surround yourself with. If it's toxic, reduce your exposure. You're the gatekeeper of your mind. 5. Reframe problems. Instead of saying, this is a nightmare, say, this is tough, but I'm tougher. Reframing turns problems into puzzles and you into the solver. 6. Surround yourself with positive energy. Positivity is contagious. Seek out mentors, friends, books, podcasts, and communities that uplift and challenge you. 7. Visualize the best version of you. Spend a few minutes each day imagining how you'd show up if you were operating at your best. Confident, grateful, focused. Then try to live as that version just for today. A final thought on attitude. Your attitude is a choice. Not always an easy one, but always a possible one. It doesn't mean pretending everything's fine when it's not. It means choosing your response with purpose. It means seeing setbacks as setups. It means being the kind of person who moves forward no matter what. Because when you improve your attitude, even just 1% at a time, you'll begin to notice that everything else starts to improve with it. Your relationships, your confidence, your resilience, your results. In the end, your attitude becomes the canvas on which your entire life is painted. So choose your colors wisely, choose them daily, and watch what you create. 2. Communication. The master key to connection and influence. If there's one skill that influences every single part of your life, your relationships, your career, your leadership, and your self-expression, it's communication. The ability to express your thoughts clearly, to listen with intention, to connect with others meaningfully, it's the bedrock of all human interaction. Whether you're pitching an idea in a meeting, resolving conflict with a loved one, giving feedback to a colleague, or simply having a conversation with a friend, everything depends on how you communicate. And here's what's often misunderstood. Being a great communicator isn't about speaking more or louder. It's about connecting better. And connection begins not with the mouth, but with the ears. Listening, the most underrated superpower. The greatest communicators aren't always the most eloquent. They're the best listeners. They make people feel seen, heard, and understood. And that is a rare gift in a noisy world. Most people don't truly listen. They wait for their turn to speak. But when you listen to understand, not just to reply, you elevate the conversation. You build trust, you gain insights, you create space for real connection. Try this in your next conversation. Don't interrupt. Don't finish their sentences. Don't drift off waiting for your chance to talk. Instead, give your full attention. Nod. Make eye contact. Ask questions that show you care. Reflect back what you heard. So what I'm hearing is, or it sounds like you're saying, that's active listening, and it will transform the way people respond to you. Clarity. Say what you mean what you say. Clear communication is kind. It's respectful. It removes confusion, prevents conflict, and saves time. Whether in writing or speaking, your message should be simple, direct, and intentional. How many problems in your life have come from poor communication? A misread text message? A vague email that led to missed expectations? A conversation where something was misunderstood and never clarified? Clarity isn't about using big words or complex language. In fact, the best communicators simplify. They say what they mean without extra fluff. They get to the point without losing the human touch. When you're clear, people don't have to guess. They feel secure. They trust you more. And that makes everything else smoother, whether you're leading a team, having a heart-to-heart, or negotiating a deal. Tone and body language. What you don't say speaks loudest. Experts often say that 93% of communication is nonverbal. And whether or not that number is exact, one thing is clear. How you say something matters just as much, if not more, than what you say. Your tone of voice communicates your attitude. Your posture communicates confidence or lack of it. Your facial expressions signal empathy, frustration, joy, or judgment. You might say the words, "I'm fine," but your eyes, your voice, your posture might be screaming otherwise. That's why congruence is key. Make sure your body language matches your message. Want to become a better communicator instantly? Smile more. It softens your presence and invites connection. Maintain good posture. It signals confidence and respect. Use open gestures. Crossed arms can feel defensive, while open hands feel inclusive. Emotionally intelligent communication. Great communication is not just logical, it's emotional. People don't always remember the exact words you said, but they remember how you made them feel. That's where emotional intelligence comes in. It's your ability to read the room, sense how someone is feeling, and adjust your approach accordingly. If someone's frustrated, you respond with calm and understanding. If someone's nervous, you offer encouragement. If someone's excited, you match their energy. Emotionally intelligent communicators tune in to others. They don't bulldoze a conversation. They meet people where they are and gently guide it toward where it needs to go. This skill of empathy, attunement, and emotional awareness makes you someone people feel safe with. And in a world full of judgment and distraction, safety is power. Daily communication practice, small improvements, big results. Communication, like any skill, is refined through daily practice. You don't need to give speeches or write books to become a better communicator. You just need to be a little more intentional in your everyday conversations. Here's how you can practice. Today, practice listening without interrupting. Give the speaker your full attention without thinking about what you're going to say next. Tomorrow, express an opinion with calm authority. Speak with confidence, without arrogance. Next week, ask better questions. Instead of asking yes/no questions, ask open-ended ones like, "What was the highlight of your day?" Or "How do you feel about that?" Ongoing, make eye contact, speak clearly, and match your tone to your intention. These might seem like small things, but they build up. They compound, they become habits. And those habits shape how people perceive and respond to you. The link between communication and influence. Influence isn't about domination or manipulation. It's about authentic leadership, guiding others through trust, clarity, and inspiration. And all of that starts with communication. When you speak well, people listen. When you listen well, people open up. When you express ideas with both strength and empathy, people follow. Think of any great leader you admire. They weren't just smart, they were compelling communicators. They inspired others not just through what they said, but how they said it and how they made others feel. You can do the same. You can become someone who moves people, who builds bridges, who influences outcomes not by force, but by connection. The communication audit. How are you showing up? Take a moment to reflect on your current communication habits. Ask yourself, do I talk more than I listen? Do I assume others understand what I mean without checking? Do I express my feelings clearly, or do I expect others to guess? Do I speak with clarity, or do I leave room for misinterpretation? Do I give people space to speak or dominate the conversation? Awareness is the first step. Improvement is the second. Choose one small thing to work on this week and commit to it. Bit by bit, your communication will sharpen, and with it, your relationships, leadership, and influence will grow.
Speak to connect,
not just to be heard. Communication is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the clearest, the most thoughtful, the most genuine. When you focus on truly connecting with others, by listening deeply, speaking with care, and showing up with empathy, you'll find yourself rising in every area of life. People will seek your input, trust your guidance, want to work with you, and follow your lead. Because true communication is not about impressing, it's about impacting. And when you master that, you don't just talk, you inspire. 3. Self-discipline, the bridge to the life you want. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to move steadily toward their goals while others stay stuck in cycles of frustration, the answer is often just one thing: self-discipline. Self-discipline is the great separator. It's the quiet, unglamorous force behind every successful journey. It's the difference between wishing and achieving, between dreaming and doing, between starting and finishing. While others are waiting to feel motivated, the disciplined are already moving. While others are looking for the perfect time, the disciplined are taking the next step, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's hard. Discipline is doing it anyway. Let's be honest, no one feels like doing hard things all the time. No one wakes up every single day excited to eat clean, exercise, work on that big project, or stay up late to study. But here's the truth. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It's finishing the task when distractions call. It's staying the course when excitement fades and the grind begins. This isn't about denying yourself joy or living a rigid, joyless life. Quite the opposite. It's about choosing the long-term reward over the short-term comfort. Because the truth is, discipline creates freedom. Freedom from guilt, regret, missed chances, and unrealized potential. Discipline trumps talent. You've probably known someone incredibly talented, smart, creative, charismatic, but somehow they never seem to follow through. Their projects start strong and then fizzle. Their ideas sound amazing, but nothing gets built. What's missing? Discipline. Talent without discipline is wasted. Ideas without discipline are forgotten. Ambition without discipline leads nowhere. Now consider someone who might not be the most naturally gifted, but who shows up every single day. They stay consistent, they follow through. They keep showing up long after motivation fades. In the long run, that person will outperform the one who relies only on talent. Why? Because discipline creates momentum, and momentum wins every time. It's not magic. It's a muscle. Self-discipline isn't a trait you're born with. It's not a gift that only some people have. It's a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows with use. You don't run a marathon on day one. You start with a single step. Same with discipline. You build it through small acts of control, repeated daily. Wake up 15 minutes earlier today. Skip social media during your work session. Resist the impulse to procrastinate on that task you've been avoiding. Say no to that unhealthy food, even when it's tempting. These might seem like tiny victories, but they're not. They are reps in the gym of your mind. And every time you choose the disciplined action, that muscle gets stronger. Discipline versus willpower. Here's something important to understand. Self-discipline is not the same as willpower. Willpower is temporary. It's that burst of strength you use to say no to dessert or push through one last set at the gym, but it burns out fast, especially when you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed. Discipline, on the other hand, is sustainable. It's built on habits and systems, not fleeting motivation. The trick is to design your environment in a way that supports your discipline. Put your phone in another room while you work. Set out your gym clothes the night before. Create a calendar reminder to write every morning. These are not acts of willpower. These are acts of design. You're setting yourself up to succeed automatically, and that's the true power of discipline. Build habits that build you. When you repeat something long enough, it becomes automatic. That's the beauty of habit. At first, it takes effort, it feels hard, but over time, it becomes your default setting. And once that happens, you no longer need to force yourself. The habit does the work for you. You don't have to think about brushing your teeth, you just do it. You don't debate whether to check your phone, you just reach for it. Now imagine if reading for 30 minutes, meditating, or writing your goals each morning became just as automatic. That's what happens when discipline evolves into habit. So, start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one habit, stick to it, then build on it. Over time, you'll create a rhythm of discipline that sustains your growth and success. The discipline loop: action, identity, action. Here's a powerful mindset shift. Discipline isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become. Every time you choose the hard thing, the right thing, the next thing, you're not just getting a result, you're reinforcing your identity. You're proving to yourself, I'm someone who follows through. You're becoming a finisher, a doer, a leader. And once that identity is rooted in you, your future choices become easier. You don't need to convince yourself anymore. You just act in alignment with who you already believe you are. That's the discipline loop. Disciplined action leads to a strong identity. That identity fuels more disciplined action. Setbacks happen. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. Now let's get real. You will mess up. You'll miss a day. You'll slip into old habits. That's part of the process. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. It means you get back on track. You don't let one bad day become a bad week. You forgive yourself quickly and recommit. Think of discipline like steering a ship. You're constantly adjusting the wheel. You might drift a little, but as long as you keep correcting course, you'll reach your destination. Freedom through discipline. Ironically, many people resist discipline because they think it's restrictive. But here's the truth. The undisciplined life is the most limiting of all. When you lack discipline, you waste time and energy. You feel behind and out of control. You regret the opportunities you missed or abandoned. But when you develop discipline, you move forward with clarity and purpose. You gain confidence from your consistency. You experience freedom, the freedom that comes from knowing you're in control of your life. Because ultimately, discipline is not punishment, it's power. It's the power to shape your habits, your days, and your destiny. Final thoughts. Discipline is your superpower. No one becomes great by accident. Behind every extraordinary life is someone who made hundreds of small disciplined decisions. When no one was watching, when it wasn't easy, when it didn't feel exciting. You don't need to do everything today. Just one thing, just one small act of discipline. Start with that, and then tomorrow, do it again. Before long, you'll look up and realize you've crossed the bridge. You've become the kind of person you used to admire. Not through luck, not through bursts of inspiration, but through quiet, daily, disciplined action. And that's where greatness lives. 4. Mindset, the engine of everything. If self-discipline is the bridge to your goals, then mindset is the fuel that powers your journey across. It's the invisible force that shapes your actions, reactions, and outcomes. Every decision you make is filtered through the lens of your mindset, what you believe about yourself, your potential, and the world around you. That's why it's not just important to work on your mindset, it's essential. Because until you change your mindset, nothing else truly changes. What is mindset really? Mindset is not just positive thinking. It's not plastering fake optimism over real challenges. It's not ignoring reality and hoping everything will magically get better. Mindset is your core belief system, the stories you tell yourself, the assumptions you carry, and the lens through which you interpret your experiences. It's what determines whether you see a failure as a dead end or a lesson. It's what determines whether a challenge energizes you or shuts you down. It's what determines whether you rise to meet opportunity or run from it. Fixed versus growth, the two mindsets that shape everything. Psychologist Carol Dweck introduced the idea of the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset, a concept that's now at the heart of high-performance education and personal development. A fixed mindset says, this is who I am. My talents are fixed. My intelligence is set. If I'm not good at something, I never will be. A growth mindset says, I can get better. I can learn. I can grow. I may not be there yet, but I'm on the way. Which one are you operating from? The truth is, we all have a mix. You might have a growth mindset about fitness, but a fixed mindset about relationships. Or you believe you can develop your skills at work, but doubt your ability to become financially independent. Here's the good news. Mindsets are not permanent. You can shift them. You can train your brain to think differently. And when you do, the effects ripple across your entire life. Challenge your limiting beliefs. A huge part of improving your mindset is learning to recognize and challenge your limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are those sneaky thoughts that quietly hold you back. I'm just not a disciplined person. I'm too old to start over. I've failed too many times. I don't have what it takes. These thoughts often feel like facts, but they're not. They're assumptions, and assumptions can be rewritten. When you hear one of those limiting beliefs pop up, ask yourself, is this absolutely true? Where did I learn this belief? What would I do if I didn't believe this? Who would I be without this story? You'll often find that the belief was never real. It was just a mental cage you'd unknowingly lived inside. Mindset is built daily. Mindset isn't something you flip on like a light switch. It's something you build day by day through small choices. Today, you might reframe a failure as feedback. Tomorrow, you remind yourself that you're allowed to improve, not just perform. The next day, you practice affirmations that reinforce the identity you want to grow into. These actions may seem small, but they're mental reps. And just like in the gym, the more reps you do, the stronger you get. Want to grow a confident mindset? Do something every day that scares you just a little. Want a resilient mindset? Practice getting back up every time life knocks you down. Want an abundance mindset? Start noticing what you do have instead of what you lack. The power of self-talk. Your internal dialogue, how you speak to yourself, is one of the most powerful mindset tools you have. It can either lift you up or tear you down. I can't do this. This is hard, but I can figure it out. I'm not good enough. I'm still learning, and that's okay. Nothing ever works for me. I haven't found the right strategy yet. Speak to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you believe in, someone you care about, someone worth encouraging, because you are. Gratitude as a mindset multiplier. Want a fast way to shift your mindset? Practice gratitude. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means noticing what's already good. It means finding something, even something small, to be thankful for, even on the tough days. Why does this matter? Because when you focus on what's working, your mind becomes more solution-oriented. You stop obsessing over lack and start operating from abundance. You feel more capable, more content, more grounded. Try this. Every morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Not just big things. Look for the little ones. A good night's sleep, a kind message from a friend, the fact that you're here, still trying, still growing. That's powerful. That's mindset in action. Mindset is contagious. Here's something people don't often talk about. Your mindset affects everyone around you. When you show up with optimism, resilience, and self-belief, it uplifts your family, your team, your community. Your energy becomes a source of strength. People start to mirror your mindset. You become a leader, not by title, but by example. On the flip side, a consistently negative or defeatist mindset can pull others down. It can become a weight on the people you love. That's not meant to guilt you. It's meant to empower you. Because if your mindset affects others, then improving it is one of the greatest contributions you can make to the world. Mindset is momentum. Here's the best part. Once your mindset starts to shift, everything else follows. You set better goals. You take more consistent action. You recover faster from failure. You dream bigger. You stop settling. It's like flipping a master switch in your brain, and suddenly the lights come on in areas of your life that were once in the dark. So build that momentum. Read books that stretch your thinking. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Practice reflection, gratitude, and courage. Rewire your self-talk. Keep challenging the old stories. Keep choosing the new ones. Final thoughts. You become what you believe. In the end, Your mindset determines the trajectory of your life, not your circumstances, not your background, not your current skill set. If you believe you're stuck, you'll act stuck. If you believe you can grow, you will. It's not magic, it's not luck, it's mindset. And the good news is, you're the one in control of it. So ask yourself, what mindset do I want to embody? What beliefs do I need to let go of? What thoughts will I choose to nurture today? Because everything starts in the mind. And when you win there, the rest will follow. Hair 5, habits, the invisible architecture of your life. If mindset shapes how you think and self-discipline drives what you do, then habits are the automatic patterns that determine who you become. Your life today is the sum of your habits, what you do consistently, not occasionally. Success isn't a single event. Neither is failure. Both are the results of compounded habits, repeated actions, decisions, and behaviors stacked up over time. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Want to know where your life is headed? Look at your habits. They're the clearest indicators of your future. Why habits matter more than motivation. Motivation is a spark. It feels good. It can get you started. But it's inconsistent. It fades when things get hard, when the weather's bad, when you're tired or stressed or distracted. Habits, on the other hand, don't ask how you feel. They just run, like code in the background of your life. Once you've installed them, they don't require constant willpower. That's why high performers focus less on staying motivated and more on designing better habits. The secret to change isn't to try harder. It's to design a life that makes the right choice the easy choice. Every action is a vote. Think of every habit as a small vote for the kind of person you want to become. Every time you work out, you cast a vote for being fit. Every time you read, you cast a vote for being informed. Every time you follow through, you cast a vote for being disciplined. One vote won't change your identity, but 1,000 will. This is where real confidence is built, not from hype or self-talk alone, but from evidence. You trust yourself because you've proven you show up. You've cast the votes, you've earned the identity. Start small, really small. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to change too much too fast. They overhaul their diet overnight. Start a crazy workout routine. Wake up at 4 a.m. with a 12-step morning ritual. And 3 days later, they're exhausted and back where they started. Here's what works better. Start small. So small, it's almost impossible to fail. Want to build a reading habit? Start with 1 page a day. Want to start journaling? Write 1 sentence. Want to drink more water? Start with 1 glass in the morning. It's not about doing more. It's about doing something consistently. Because once a habit is in motion, it becomes easier to grow. That 1 page becomes 2. That 1 sentence becomes a paragraph. That glass of water becomes a full hydration routine. But it starts with a single, simple action. Design beats discipline. One of the smartest things you can do is design your environment to support your habits. Why? Because your environment cues your behavior. Most people try to rely on willpower, but that runs out. Environment? That works 24/7. Examples. Want to eat better? Remove junk food from the house and prep healthy meals in advance. Want to exercise more? Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Want to write more? Keep a notebook by your bed or laptop on your desk, open and ready. Don't just try harder, make it easier for your future self to win. That's intelligent design, that's sustainable habit building. Stack it, track it, celebrate it. Want to make a habit stick faster? Use these 3 principles. 1, stack it. Attach your new habit to something you already do. This is called habit stacking. After I brush my teeth, I'll stretch for 2 minutes. After I pour my morning coffee, I'll write down 3 goals. After I shut my laptop at work, I'll take a 5-minute walk. It leverages your existing routines as anchors. 2, track it. Use a calendar, a notebook, or a habit tracker app to track your habit streaks. Seeing your progress is motivating. It gives you momentum and a sense of accountability. Don't break the chain. And if you do, don't miss twice. 3, celebrate it. Reinforce your habits with positive emotion. That means celebrating small wins. Smile. Say yes. Give yourself a fist bump. It might sound silly, but it works. Your brain loves rewards. It helps lock in the behavior. Break the bad ones. 2. It's not just about building good habits, it's about breaking the bad ones that sabotage you. Here's how to do it. Make it invisible. Remove the triggers. If social media wastes your time, delete the app from your phone. Make it unattractive. Remind yourself of the cost. What's this habit really stealing from your life? Make it hard. Add friction. If you're trying to stop snacking, keep unhealthy food out of reach, or don't buy it at all. Make it unsatisfying. Add accountability. Tell someone your goal and ask them to check in. Every bad habit you break frees up energy and attention for something better. Build keystone habits. Some habits have a ripple effect. These are called keystone habits, and they change everything. Examples: exercise improves energy, mood, sleep, discipline, even nutrition. Reading stimulates creativity, focus, and continuous learning. Waking up early creates space for planning, reflection, and intentional action. Planning your day gives direction, reduces stress, and helps you prioritize what matters. Focus on building one or two keystone habits, and you'll see improvements in multiple areas of your life. Give yourself grace, not excuses. You won't be perfect. You'll slip up, miss a day, fall off track. That's okay. What matters is what you do next. Don't beat yourself up. Don't throw away a whole week because you missed one workout or broke your streak. That's how the old pattern pulls you back in. Instead, give yourself grace and get back on track immediately. Discipline is not about being flawless. It's about being faithful. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work. The results will follow. Final thoughts. You don't need a life makeover, just better habits. Here's the truth. Most people don't need to transform their life overnight. They just need better habits done daily, consistently, for long enough to see the compound effect kick in. Because over time, 1% better every day leads to massive growth. Tiny changes lead to massive results. Small wins lead to lasting confidence. So ask yourself, what habit do I need to start today? What tiny change can I make that my future self will thank me for? Who do I want to become? And what habits does that version of me live by? Because once your habits align with your goals, there's nothing stopping you. Not motivation, not talent, not luck, just consistency over time, fueled by the power of deliberate habits. 6, focus. The power that separates the successful from the distracted. In a world that constantly demands your attention, focus is a superpower. We live in an age of endless notifications, multitasking, and short attention spans. The moment you sit down to work, your phone buzzes. A new email arrives. Social media calls your name. Distraction is everywhere, and it's relentless. But here's the truth. Nothing great is built without deep focus. Success, mastery, innovation, personal growth, they all require uninterrupted attention over time. If you want to do work that matters, make progress that sticks, or become someone you're proud of, you must protect your focus like your life depends on it. Because in a way, it does. What you focus on grows. Your focus is like sunlight. Scatter it and you get a mild warmth. Concentrate it through a magnifying glass and you can start a fire. Energy flows where attention goes. Whatever you give consistent focus to improves, whether that's your fitness, your career, your relationships, or your mindset. The opposite is also true. When your attention is fractured, nothing gets the energy it deserves. Progress becomes inconsistent. Ideas stay half-finished. Your to-do list grows, but your results shrink. That's why focused people seem so productive, so effective, so composed. It's not because they have more time, it's because they direct their attention with intention. Focus is a skill, not a trait. Some people say, I'm just not good at focusing, but focus isn't something you're born with, it's something you train. You weren't born knowing how to walk, read, or drive either. You learned. You practiced, you struggled, then it became second nature. Focus works the same way. It's a muscle, and you strengthen it by using it. The more you train yourself to stay locked in on one task, one thought, one goal, the easier it becomes to block out distractions and get into flow. The cost of distraction is greater than you think. Let's be honest, distractions aren't just harmless interruptions. They cost you more than time. They cost you momentum. Studies show that every time you get distracted, it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully refocus. That means a 5-second text could cost you 20+ minutes of deep work. Multiply that by how many times you're interrupted in a day, and you'll see why so many people feel busy but accomplish so little. Distraction is the enemy of depth. And the best work, the breakthrough ideas, the real progress, it all lives on the other side of depth. Create focus by subtraction. You don't need more apps, timers, or hacks to be focused. What you need is less clutter, fewer browser tabs, fewer to-do list items, fewer goals at once, fewer yeses to things that don't matter. Great focus doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing less better. Ask yourself, what can I eliminate to protect what matters most? Because every yes to a distraction is a no to your future self. Set boundaries that guard your mind. Focus starts with boundaries. If you don't control your environment will control you. Here are a few simple, powerful ways to protect your focus. Silence notifications during deep work hours. Turn off email except for set check-in times. Create a physical space for focus. Clean desk, quiet surroundings, intentional design. Use the do not disturb feature on your phone religiously. Like, tell others when you're unavailable. Create focus windows where no one interrupts you. The key is to make distractions hard and focus easy. You're not being rude, you're being respectful of your own time, your goals, and your priorities. Learn the power of saying no. Focus isn't just about what you do, it's about what you choose not to do. You have limited time, limited energy, limited creative bandwidth. Every time you say yes to something misaligned with your values or goals, you're saying no to something that does. Saying no isn't selfish, it's strategic. The most successful people you admire, they're not doing more than you. They're doing less, more intentionally. They say no to distractions so they can say yes to greatness. Single tasking is the new superpower. Multitasking is a myth. Your brain can't focus on two high-effort tasks at the same time. What you're really doing when you multitask is switching rapidly between tasks, losing focus and creating cognitive fatigue in the process. Want to level up your focus immediately? Do one thing at a time. Finish one task before starting the next. Be fully present in every conversation, every project, every moment. This is how flow happens. This is how mastery begins. Train your focus like a muscle. Just like going to the gym, focus gets stronger with practice. Try these strategies. Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes of deep work, 5-minute break. Repeat. Time blocking. Schedule specific windows for focused work, emails, meetings, and breaks. Daily priorities. Identify your top 1 to 3 tasks for the day. Start with those, no exceptions. Mindfulness practice. Even 5 minutes of meditation a day can improve attention and mental clarity. Train your mind to stay where your body is. That's real presence. That's real power. Protect your morning, win the day. Your morning is the prime time for focus. Your energy is highest, your mind is clearest, distractions are lowest. Guard that time. Make it sacred. Don't start your day with email or social media. Don't hand your brain over to other people's agendas. Instead, work on your most important project. Write, reflect, or read. Get clear on your priorities. If you win your morning, you build momentum, and momentum wins the day. Final thoughts. Focus is how you take control. In the end, focus is about more than productivity. It's about taking back control. Control of your time, your mind, your future. It's how you stop reacting and start creating. How you stop drifting and start building. How you stop living on autopilot and start showing up on purpose. So ask yourself, what's distracting me? What deserves my deepest attention right now? What would happen if I focused on that consistently for the next 90 days? Because that's all it takes to change your life. Not magic, not luck, not talent, just focused effort, repeated daily on what matters most. 7. Health, the foundation you build everything on. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't chase your dreams if you're constantly running on fumes. And you certainly can't lead others, build something great, or enjoy your life if your body and mind are breaking down. That's why your health is not a luxury. It's a necessity. It's the silent force behind your energy, clarity, and stamina. It's the foundation that supports your productivity, your mood, your relationships, and your ambitions. Without health, everything else you're chasing, success, happiness, freedom, becomes fragile. With health, everything gets easier. Let's talk about how to build it, strengthen it, and protect it, one simple decision at a time. Energy is the real currency of success. People often talk about managing their time. But what good is a 10-hour workday if you're too tired, foggy, or burned out to do meaningful work? Time is fixed. Energy is flexible. If you want to show up strong, day after day, you need energy. Not just physical energy, but emotional, mental, and spiritual energy too. And that doesn't come from caffeine, adrenaline, or sheer willpower. It comes from taking care of yourself on purpose. Every workout, every hour of quality sleep, every whole food you eat, it's all an investment in your ability to show up fully for your goals. Movement fuels momentum. You don't have to be a bodybuilder or a marathon runner, but you do have to move your body. Exercise isn't just about aesthetics. It's about activation, waking your body up so your mind can follow. Movement improves your mood. It sharpens your thinking. It gives you more stamina to handle stress, work longer, and recover faster. Start simple. Go for a 20-minute walk in the morning. Stretch for 5 minutes between tasks. Do a short strength workout 3 times a week. Make movement part of your daily rhythm, not just something you fit in when convenient. The more you move, the more energy you create. And when you have energy, everything becomes easier. Food is fuel, not just comfort. You don't have to eat perfectly. You just have to eat intentionally. Every time you eat, you're either feeding your focus or feeding your fatigue. Highly processed foods, added sugars, and constant snacking create blood sugar spikes and crashes. That roller coaster leads to brain fog, irritability, and low energy. On the other hand, eating more real whole foods, lean proteins, vegetables, healthy fats, and complex carbs creates stability, clarity, vitality. Here's a simple rule. If it didn't exist 100 years ago, eat it less. If your great-grandmother wouldn't recognize it as food, it's probably not serving you. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet. Just start with one upgrade. Swap soda for water. Replace a processed snack with fruit or nuts. Cook one more meal at home each week. Small improvements done daily compound into massive change. Sleep is a superpower. There's a reason elite athletes, top performers, and successful entrepreneurs protect their sleep like gold. It's their recovery system. Sleep isn't just rest. It's how your brain consolidates learning, repairs your body, balances hormones, and resets emotional regulation. Without enough sleep, everything suffers. You make worse decisions, your stress skyrockets, your productivity nosedives. Yet so many people treat sleep like it's optional. Here's the truth. Sleep is not a waste of time. It's how you buy more effective time. Want to upgrade your sleep? Stick to a regular bedtime and wake-up time, even on weekends. Avoid screens for 30 minutes before bed. Keep your room dark, cool, and quiet. Better sleep equals better days. It's that simple. Mental health is health. You can be physically fit and still be emotionally exhausted. That's why mental and emotional health must be part of your health strategy. Burnout, anxiety, self-doubt, these aren't weaknesses. They're signals. They're your mind's way of telling you, hey, something needs care. Let's slow down, breathe, and get real. Make space for your mental well-being. Journal to process your thoughts. Talk to someone you trust. Set boundaries that protect your peace. Take breaks without guilt. If your mind isn't well, nothing else works the way it should. Strong minds build strong lives. Hydration, cognitive clarity. It sounds simple, but most people are chronically dehydrated and don't realize that even a 1 to 2% drop in hydration can impair memory, concentration, and mood. Water is not optional. It's foundational. Make it a habit. Start your day with a tall glass of water. Carry a refillable bottle. Replace one coffee or soda with water every day. Hydrated brain equals sharper focus, better decisions, calmer nerves. Build healthy habits one layer at a time. You don't need to become a health guru overnight. You just need to pick one small thing and commit to doing it consistently. Health isn't a destination, it's a daily rhythm. Today, go to bed 30 minutes earlier. Choose a healthier lunch. Walk for 15 minutes. Tomorrow, stack another layer. Momentum builds from small victories. Confidence grows from consistency. And eventually you look back and realize this isn't a diet. This isn't a phase. This is who I've become. The health performance loop. Here's what's amazing about improving your health. It doesn't just improve your body, it supercharges everything else. You focus better. You handle stress better. You make smarter decisions. You lead with more confidence. You enjoy life more fully. When you feel strong, capable, and energized, your goals stop feeling like a grind. They start to feel possible. Final thoughts: you are the asset. If you had $1 million racehorse, would you feed it junk food, deprive it of sleep, and expect it to win races? Of course not. You'd take care of it like the valuable asset it is. Well, you are that asset. Your body is the vehicle for your vision. Your mind is the engine of your future. Your energy is the fuel that drives your mission. So treat yourself accordingly. Invest in your health, not just for longevity, but for performance, clarity, and joy. Because in the end, success doesn't matter much if you're too tired, too sick, or too stressed to enjoy it. Take care of your health, and everything else rises with it. 8. Learning, the lifelong edge. The world belongs to the learners, not just those with formal degrees or polished resumes, but those who are curious, consistent, and committed to never standing still. In today's fast-paced, ever-evolving world, one thing is clear: if you're not learning, you're falling behind. It used to be that learning ended when school did. You graduated, got a job, and settled into a routine. That world doesn't exist anymore. Today, industries change overnight. Skills become outdated in months. And the people who rise, they're not always the smartest. They're the most adaptable, the most eager, the most committed to growth. The illiterate of the 21st century won't be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Alvin Toffler. Why learning must be a daily habit. Think of your mind as a muscle. If you don't use it, it weakens. But when you challenge it, when you feed it new ideas, new perspectives, and new skills, it sharpens. It becomes more agile, more capable, and more powerful. Learning daily doesn't have to be complicated. Read just 10 pages of a good book, listen to 15 minutes of an insightful podcast, watch a TED Talk during your lunch break, ask someone a meaningful question, reflect on what went right or wrong today. Small inputs, big results. Like compounding interest, the effects of learning daily are invisible at first, then unstoppable. The 5 levels of daily learning. To make learning a powerful habit, consider these 5 dimensions. Improving in any one of them expands your potential. Improving in all 5, that's transformation. 1. Knowledge. This is the most obvious level. Reading, watching, listening, books, videos, podcasts, articles, absorbing new information that widens your view of the world. 2. Skills. This is applied knowledge. It's one thing to read about public speaking, it's another to practice it. Skills are built through repetition, feedback, and reflection. 3. Self-awareness. The best learners don't just absorb new info, they examine themselves. What do I believe? Where am I stuck? What can I do better next time? Journaling, meditating, and getting honest feedback are powerful tools here. Mindset. A learner's mindset is open, curious, and resilient. Learning how to learn and how to handle failure as feedback is key to long-term growth. Perspective. Sometimes the most powerful lessons don't come from new information, but from new angles. Learning from other cultures, other generations, or opposing views helps break mental ruts and opens new doors. Make learning part of who you are. Learning isn't just something you do, it becomes part of who you are. You start seeing every conversation as a lesson, every failure as a class, every person as a teacher. Here's how to hardwire that identity. 1. Create a learning ritual. Set aside non-negotiable time daily. It could be 30 minutes in the morning, a podcast during your commute, or 10 pages before bed. It doesn't matter when, it matters that it happens. 2. Keep a learning journal. Each day, write one thing you learned, one thing you practiced, and one thing you'll do better tomorrow. This simple habit locks in your growth. Teach others. The best way to master something is to explain it. When you teach, even casually, you reinforce your learning and clarify your own understanding. Join a learning community. Surround yourself with other curious minds. Book clubs, masterminds, courses, forums. When you learn with others, you learn faster and deeper. The ROI of learning. Let's be honest. Most people don't read books after college. They don't take courses unless they have to. They rarely stretch beyond their routine. But the few who do, they rise. They earn more, lead more, inspire more. Here's what learning gives you that nothing else does. Confidence: you feel more capable and prepared. Opportunities, you see things others miss. Agility, you adapt to change instead of resisting it. Influence, you speak with wisdom and clarity. Fulfillment, you're expanding, not shrinking. Common excuses and how to beat them. I don't have time. You do. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day adds up. Swap scrolling for skill building. Idle time is learning time waiting to happen. I'm not a fast learner. Speed doesn't matter. Consistency does. A slow learner who never quits will always outperform a fast learner who stops. I don't know what to learn. Start with what excites you or what challenges you, what frustrates you at work, what have you always wanted to understand. Follow your curiosity. Start with these. Here's a simple weekly plan to build momentum. Monday, watch a TED Talk on a topic outside your comfort zone. Tuesday, read 10 pages of a book related to your goal. Wednesday, take notes on a podcast episode. Thursday, reflect. What's one insight you can apply today? Friday, journal about what you learned this week. Saturday, teach someone something new. Sunday, plan next week's learning focus. It doesn't have to be rigid, but it does have to be consistent. Final thought, learners become leaders. You don't need to know everything, but you need to keep learning every day. The most successful people you admire, they're still learning. The person you want to become, they've read the books, faced the mistakes, asked the hard questions. You're not just learning to fill your brain, you're learning to unlock your life. So start today, learn something, then do something with it. And never ever stop. Hash 9, confidence, the belief that unlocks potential. If self-discipline is the bridge to your goals, then confidence is the fuel that powers you across. It's not arrogance. It's not pretending to have all the answers. True confidence is a quiet, steady belief in your ability to figure things out, no matter what comes your way. It's knowing that you may not be perfect, but you are capable, resilient, and resourceful. That belief doesn't come from luck. It's built, shaped, and strengthened, just like any other skill. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, decision by decision, action by action, challenge by challenge. What confidence really means. Many people misunderstand confidence. They think it's about being loud, being fearless, or never doubting yourself. But confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to take action despite it. It's walking into a new situation and saying, I may not have done this before, but I trust myself to learn. That kind of mindset changes everything. It affects how you speak, how you show up in rooms, how you chase goals. Less confidence is contagious. It makes people trust you, follow you, believe in you. But most importantly, it makes you believe in you. Confidence comes from evidence. You don't build confidence by waiting for it to magically appear. You build it by doing hard things and realizing you can handle them. Think of every challenge you faced in your life. You've overcome more than you give yourself credit for. Every time you finished a project, solved a problem, had a difficult conversation, kept going when it was hard, you added a brick to your confidence wall. So when you feel uncertain or insecure, don't wait for motivation. Go build evidence, take action, even a small one. Action creates proof, and proof builds belief. The confidence loop, here's a simple truth. Action, evidence, belief, confidence. You take action, even if you're scared. You get results, even if they're imperfect. You prove to yourself, I can do this. That creates belief, and belief fuels more action. That's how confidence compounds. It doesn't come before action, it comes from it. So the next time you think, I'm not confident enough to try, flip the script. I'm not confident because I haven't tried yet. But once I do, I will be. Stop comparing, start competing with yourself. Nothing kills confidence faster than comparison. In the age of social media, it's easy to think everyone else is winning faster, looking better, and doing more. But you're not running their race, you're running yours. Confidence grows not by being better than others, but by being better than who you were yesterday. Track your own progress, celebrate your own wins, set your own standards. The only person you need to beat is the version of you from last week. Build competence to build confidence. Confidence is often built on a foundation of competence. The more you practice, the better you get. The better you get, the more confident you feel. Want to be a more confident speaker? Speak more. Want to lead better? Learn leadership skills and apply them. Want to walk into any room with your head high, know your strengths, sharpen your skills, and show up prepared. Confidence doesn't come from pretending. It comes from preparation. So invest in yourself, learn, improve, practice. Competence creates confidence, and competence is in your control. Watch yourself talk. What you say to yourself becomes what you believe about yourself. Are you feeding your mind words of power or poison? Confidence starts with how you speak to yourself. I'm not good enough. I'm still learning, but I'm improving every day. I always mess up. I make mistakes like everyone, but I grow from them. I can't do this. This is new, but I'm capable of figuring it out. You are always programming your brain with your thoughts. Make sure you're programming confidence, not doubt. Speak to yourself like you would to a friend you believe in. Encourage, empower, challenge, support. Your inner voice sets the tone for your outer results. Take care of your body to strengthen your confidence. Confidence isn't just mental, it's also physical. When you take care of your body, you signal to yourself, I am worth the effort. Exercise sharpens your posture. Nutrition fuels your energy. Sleep renews your mind. Even small changes make a difference. Stand up straighter, dress with intention, move your body daily. These aren't shallow habits, they're rituals of self-respect. And self-respect is the root of self-confidence. Confidence in communication. Want to sound more confident when you speak? Here are a few habits that make a big impact. Speak slowly. People rush when they're nervous. Pause with purpose. Make eye contact. Not aggressively, but warmly. It shows presence. Avoid filler words. Practice replacing and like with silence. Finish your sentences. Don't trail off or turn statements into questions. The goal isn't to impress, it's to express. Confidence in communication isn't about dominating, it's about being clear, calm, and sure of your message. Fail forward. Rejection builds resilience. Here's a tough truth. Confidence is built in the fire. It's not built when everything's easy. It's built when things go wrong and you keep going anyway. You will mess up. You will get rejected. You will fall short. But each time you didn't break, you'll learn how to bounce back. You'll learn how to bounce back. And with every comeback, your confidence grows stronger. Not because you avoided failure, but because you faced it. Confidence isn't about never falling. It's about knowing you can rise again and again. Final thought, confidence is a choice you make daily. You don't need to wait for permission to feel confident. You don't need to achieve something massive before you believe in yourself. You can choose confidence today. Not because you're perfect, not because everything's figured out, but because you are committed to growth. You are willing to try. You are capable of change. That's more than enough to begin. So hold your head high, speak with purpose, step forward, even if your voice shakes, because confidence doesn't come before the journey. It's what you earn by walking the path. 10. Contribution, the power of giving beyond yourself. When people think of success, they often focus on what they can get: money, recognition, status, comfort. But real, lasting fulfillment doesn't come from accumulation. It comes from contribution, from giving, from lifting others, from making a difference in ways both big and small. Contribution is the final pillar that transforms success into significance. You can have all the talent in the world. You can build the habits, practice the discipline, master communication, and lead with confidence. But if it ends with you, it dies with you. When you shift your focus from what can I get to what can I give, you unlock a new level of meaning, motivation, and impact. Why contribution matters. At your core, you are wired to make a difference. It's part of being human. Contribution taps into your deepest values. It connects you to something greater than yourself. It fuels your purpose and enriches your relationships. Here's what contribution does. It builds legacy. People don't remember what you took, they remember what you gave. It multiplies meaning. A win shared is a win doubled. It sustains motivation. When your effort helps others, quitting becomes harder. It expands impact. Your small act can trigger a ripple effect far beyond your reach. You were not made to live in isolation. Your greatest fulfillment will come from knowing your life has positively affected someone else's. Start where you are, give what you can. You don't need $1 million or a huge platform to make a contribution. Start small. Start now. You have something valuable to offer today. your time, your encouragement, your presence, your experience, your creativity, your kindness. Never underestimate the power of a small gesture. A few minutes spent helping a colleague, a genuine compliment, a listening ear, a word of support when someone feels unseen. You don't have to do everything, but you can do something. And your something matters. Contribution builds connection. One of the most beautiful things about contribution is that it forges connection. When you give, you open the door to deeper relationships. People feel seen, supported, and valued in your presence. And in return, they often want to give back, creating a cycle of generosity and trust. That's how teams grow stronger, how families grow closer, how communities rise, how movements begin. Contribution turns me into we, and we can do far more together than we ever can alone. Contribution creates fulfillment, not burnout. Now let's be clear, contribution doesn't mean self-sacrifice to the point of exhaustion. Giving isn't about draining yourself to fill others. True contribution comes from a place of abundance, not burnout. In fact, when done right, contribution energizes you. It renews your spirit. It reminds you of your strengths and purpose. But it starts with filling your own cup. When you're whole, you give not out of obligation, but out of overflow. So give generously, but also wisely. Serve others, but also care for yourself. That balance creates sustainable impact. Find your unique way to give. Contribution looks different for everyone. Some lead, some teach, some build, some heal, some encourage, some create. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to giving. Your contribution should align with who you are, what you love, and what you're good at. Ask yourself, what am I passionate about? What skills or experiences can I share? Who could benefit from what I know? What small action can I take this week to help someone else? Even if you impact just one person, it matters. You may be the only light someone sees today. Shine anyway. Live to add value, not just accumulate it. The people who leave the biggest impact on the world are not the ones who focused on having more. They're the ones who focused on being more and giving more. They lived with an outward mindset. They saw success as a tool for service, not just status. That's what elevates good lives into great legacies. So whether you're building a business, raising a family, writing a book, or mentoring one person, you are contributing. You are creating value. You are shaping lives. Don't downplay your impact. Own it. Grow it. Use it. Leave people better than you found them. This might be the simplest definition of contribution. Leave people better than you found them. If you do that, if you consistently uplift others in your daily interactions, you're already living a life of contribution. A kind word, a helping hand, a moment of empathy. These things don't cost much, but they mean everything to the person receiving them. You can be that person every day. Make it your quiet mission to make people feel heard, valued, encouraged, empowered. You never know what battle someone is fighting. Your smallest gesture might be the light that gets them through the day. Contribution amplifies every other area of growth. Think about this. When you improve your attitude, your contribution becomes more positive. When you grow in communication, you express encouragement more clearly. When you develop discipline, you show up for others consistently. When you lead with confidence, you inspire others to believe in themselves. Every improvement and personal improvement you've worked on so far becomes amplified when it's shared. Growth that stays inside you is limited. Growth that flows through you becomes limitless. That's the beauty of contribution. It turns self-improvement into world improvement. Your life is bigger than you. In the end, contribution is about perspective. It's realizing that your life is not just about achieving, but about impacting. Not just about collecting, but about sharing. Not just about rising, but about lifting. You were not born to just go through the motions. You were born to make a mark, to leave this world a little better than you found it. That doesn't require fame. It requires intention. Live with your eyes open. Serve with your heart full. Let your life be a message of hope, strength, and contribution. Final thought, the ripple effect. You may never see the full impact of your contribution, but make no mistake, it's real. One small act of kindness can echo through generations. One lesson shared can change a life. One spark of encouragement can ignite a future leader. So don't wait for the world to change. Be the change. Live each day asking not just what can I achieve, but also whose life can I touch today? Because when you commit to daily contribution, you don't just build success, you build a legacy.